If you've been wholesaling from behind a laptop and wondering why you're not making real money, this video is going to sting a little because I'm going to show you the real reason of why you're actually stuck. You got into wholesaling because you wanted that freedom. But here's the truth. Virtual wholesaling is the fastest way for you to lose money. You think it's going to give you the flexibility, but it's actually stealing your profits, your confidence, and even your peace. Every single deal, every $30,000, $50,000, even $100,000+ deal I've ever closed has come from one thing, and that's been meeting the seller in person. In this video, I'm going to show you the 4 reasons why virtual wholesaling keeps you broke. And at the end, I'm going to show you the simple system that's actually going to fix all of these 4 at once. Reason number 1, you don't know what your market or your buyers actually want. When you're virtual, you're guessing. You're pulling random lists, making random offers, right? This is why a lot of people use PropStream and services like that. And think about it this way. Everybody uses those services. So you're pulling the same list everybody else has access to. You understand? So this is why you're competing with literally everybody in the market. You are playing darts blindfolded. And you might spend hours running comps and sending offers only to have all of your buyers ghost you, right? You finally get something locked up and your buyers are just nowhere to be found. So you're having to blast these lists, right? You're having to go to, Investor Lift and all this other nonsense. So you can blast out deals, go on Facebook, blast them out that way, all over the place, and inbounding a ton of people, tire kickers and people that are bullshitting you at the end of the day. So deep down, you know why. You don't really know your market. You know, you're never driven those streets. You don't know what investors in that area actually are looking for. You're hoping that random data fills in the gaps. But you can't make confident offers when you don't know the ground you're playing on. When you're just chasing, again, this random data instead of where the actual demand is in your market. So when you work locally, everything changes. You know your zip codes, you know the areas, you know the players. You can look at a deal and instantly know, I got somebody for this. I've seen this house before. I've made money on this house before. I know I got this done. This is in the bag. And the truth is, your buyers decide your market, not you, right? When you're pulling these massive random lists from all these providers because, oh no, we know these are our niche list because we have the data by all the investors, blah, 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 blah. You understand? Like, this is keeping you broke every single time. So here's a quick little side story on this. I have a student that was doing the virtual wholesaling, and then he lives in Boston. He was doing it in St. Louis. And I told him, I was like, dude, stop that. Go into your own backyard. He finds a deal about a month in. He finds a deal and he tells me, hey, man, I have an issue because the wholesaler made an offer for, I think it was 15 or 20 grand higher than what he needed to be. He's like, how do I overcome this? Because I can't make those numbers work. I was like, simple. That offer's nonsense. There's no validity to that offer. It's a virtual wholesaler. They're playing. They're taking a stab at it. You don't even know if they're going to be able to close on it. I was like, completely ignore it. As soon as the seller brings it up, be like, yeah, but they never came to see the house. They don't know the area. They're not even from here. Long story short, he got it on the contract for 20 grand less. What a shocker. You understand? Like, it works that powerfully. And I'm going to show you how to build that kind of buyer first system at the end. But first, let's talk about the second reason why you're leaving money on the table. And the second reason is simple, is you treat sellers like they're numbers. When you work virtually, it's easy to forget that the person on the other end of the phone is actually a human being, right? And they're going through some real situations, some real struggles. And you're just concerned about how many beds and baths, you know, when was the last time you updated anything? How jacked up is your house? What's your acting price? None of that is connecting with the homeowner at any level. You understand? So they feel like this is another transaction. And because they feel like this is another transaction, it becomes one, right? They want a number way up here. You want a number way down here, oceans apart. And you're like, man, these sellers, how many times have you even said this, right? These sellers are so unrealistic, John. These sellers just want too much. Not the ones we deal with. I'm not in a special market, guys. I have students across the whole country. It's the same everywhere. The sellers we deal with don't give us this problem because you've probably had calls like that. You've hung up on and realized, man, I still don't know why they want to sell, right? But yet you lowball the crap out of them. Sellers don't sell because of the house. They sell because of why they need to. So is it a divorce? Is it a foreclosure? Is it something that's causing the stress in their lives? Something that's causing this to just be easier to let it go than to keep dealing with it. You can't hear that through the phone, but you can see that when you meet them. When you meet a seller in person, everything changes. You can feel their body language. You can read their energy. You can build that trust quickly. You understand? You can connect with them by just simply walking through the house and seeing that they got maybe some golf clubs or they got something that you connect with or a picture of the family. Like they get to see you. They see how genuine you are, how much you actually care about helping them. It's a world of a difference doing this virtual nonsense versus actually understanding real estate. And then you can ask real questions. When you're face to face with a seller, you can actually say, if you don't sell, how will you handle whatever that situation is, right? How would you handle that foreclosure? How would you handle the tax delinquency? How would you handle the property just sitting there vacant and all the bills stacking up? How are you going to handle that moving forward? How much longer can this issue continue before you're just lost everything? What would it mean to finally be done with it? Those questions are so much less impactful when you're on the phone rather than when you're face to face. This is why I train everybody. When you're on the phone, we don't provide options. When we're on the phone, we're just reestablishing connection, motivation, and understanding that this person needs your help and they understand it too. Then we close them in person. When you care about their why, they see you as a solution and not another investor trying to take advantage. And that's when the deals get easy. When people tell me, John, I don't know what, the contracts are complicated, or I submitted the offer and they just didn't bite, or whatever it is. I'm like, no, it's not the contract. It's not your offer. It's all the pre-work that you didn't do. When I submit an offer, it's a done deal. I've filled out contracts, and I'm not lying, filled them out. They weren't filled out because I didn't know how to fill out a contract. Every page was initialed and signed at the back. And then I went to my partner and I'm like, hey, man, here's all the terms we agreed to. I don't know where that goes in the contract. Why would they sign a blank contract? Because they knew I was going to solve the problems. They believed in me. And that's the work that you guys are just not doing. You guys are just pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. You understand? Just like, wow, screw it. Just keep making calls. Just go to another one. Go to the next one. And I want you to pause for a second and ask yourself, if I called 10 sellers right now, would I actually know why any of them want to sell? Any 10 sellers on your list, or on any other list you're marketing to, do you know why they want to sell before you even call them? Having high equity isn't a motivator. Being absentee isn't a motivator. Why would they want to sell? You don't know. Well, John, that's why I'm calling. That's where you're losing money. Once you understand that selling is about people, not the property, the next mistake becomes a lot more obvious, because at the end of the day, reason number 3, you've been chasing volume instead of mastery. Virtual makes you believe you need more. More lists, more markets, more leads, more VAs, more people, bigger teams. You think if you just add one more tool or a VA, you'll finally break through. But all that's going to do is just bury you in busy work, create massive expenses for you. And at the end of the day, you're not any further ahead than you were before. If anything, you start falling behind further and further because your expenses go through the roof. You're calling all day long. You're managing people. You're managing all these subscriptions, and you're still not seeing profits. You're busy, not productive. You don't need more. You need to master. When you focus on one market things get simpler. You know the area, you know the buyers, you know the price points that actually make sense. You stop guessing and you start closing. You understand? You don't understand how much one $50,000 deal will change your life instead of going after 10 $5,000 deals. Those 10 deals are going to be a headache to close. You got to deal with buyers, title, 10 different sellers. All the situations all the variables are compounded instead of just going after one. The people who win aren't the ones with the most systems, with the most people, with the bigger teams. They're the ones with the most clarity, with the most focus. Everything you do, if you do it more focused, more deliberate, with an actual purpose to it, your success goes up tremendously. Mastery gives you control, and control gives you peace. Let me repeat that. Mastery gives you control, and control will give you peace. That's the difference between being stuck in hustle mode and actually owning a business. And here's what's funny, right? Like, look at everybody that teaches virtual wholesale. What do they brag about? $5,000, $7,000, $10,000 deals all over the freaking place. How many VAs, how many cold callers, how many lists they're marketing to, how many people they're having to follow up with, how many different title companies, how many different closings they got to handle. It's a nightmare. It's a complete nightmare. And then that's supposed to make sense? That's supposed to be how you make money? No. When are these virtual people ever bragging about how much, them closing $50,000, $100,000 deals consistently? I never heard one of them. Why? They're not focused on perfection. They're not focused on mastery. They're not focused on getting it better. They're just focused on volume and looking good on YouTube. You understand? Like, what I teach you is not sexy by any means. I've never said it was. All I'm saying is it makes money. And it gives you a quality of life that you would not believe when you finally have it. And all of that takes less than 6 months to build. But before we get into that, I want to nail down reason number 4. Reason number 4 is it's more of a mindset one because it's you hiding behind the virtual. So let's be honest here. If you've been doing this virtual wholesaling nonsense, right? There's a part of you that you're avoiding something. You're avoiding either that in-person rejection, right? You're avoiding making an offer to a seller face-to-face. I get that. I get how uncomfortable that is. It's much easier making an offer over the phone and not getting rejected to your face. But you tell yourself you're being strategic by doing this virtual stuff. But you're really doing is just hiding. And I get it. You think if you stay behind a screen, you wouldn't have to feel uncomfortable. But you can't grow seeking comfort. That moment you start meeting sellers in person, your confidence changes. That first contract you lock in on your first appointment, you feel powerful. You feel very powerful. You close them on your first appointment as it should be. And then all of a sudden you stop being scared of asking the real questions that get these high margin deals. And you start closing. You start going to less appointments, but they're bigger deals. You understand? Like, you can build courage if you stop avoiding the things that are keeping you weak. Avoidance doesn't help you build courage. You build it by showing up, getting told no, and doing it again. That's how you build real confidence and real freedom. A lot of times my students ask me, John, should I be going to this appointment? Like, you have no experience going to any appointment. Yes, go to it. Because what happens when you show up to an appointment? You're nervous. You're scared. You don't know what to do right now. All of a sudden, all this strategy, all these plans you had in your mind go way out the window. And that's why I teach systems and processes, because when your brain goes out the window, you have documentation on what you're supposed to be doing. And it's a proven process that works time and time again. It prints money. So right now, the markets are tightening. For a lot of people, the profit margins are getting very thin. People are actually doubling down on all their marketing, and they're going broke even faster. The virtual model, in reality, why it became so big was during the pandemic. because you had to do virtual. But it's been dying fast. All these pay-per lead, all these people, they're hemorrhaging money because it's just nonsense, all the stuff they're getting. The SEO, the PPC people, they're all hemorrhaging money because their shit's not working. Oh, no, we get a lot of leads. No, you get noise. I can get you noise. But what you want to get is deals, not noise. When I realized all these problems, guessing, low trust, chaos, come from the same broken idea you've been taught. That volume is supposed to fix everything. I promise you it doesn't. Adding more chaos to a broken system fixes absolutely nothing. You need focus. You're told that, you can automate freedom for whatever reason. I work very little in my real estate business at this point. I have the right team. I have the right processes, everything. But I still know what the heck is going on with the market. I still have a pulse on everything that's going on. Freedom doesn't come from automation. It comes from alignment. Alignment that what you're doing is actually moving the needle forward. And that's where the PRYME wholesaling method even came out, because it's literally contradicts everything you've ever been told. That's where a lot of people struggle with this. I had a student recently that he's like, dude, I feel like I'm going through withdrawal because his whole business model used to be volume. And he's getting a lot more traction with this one where it's like, I'm talking to 10 leads, 12 leads. He's like, it's ridiculous. But he has one on the ropes right now with, I think is over 6 figures. That's crazy. No, it's not crazy. That's what the system does. So you learn what they actually want, your sellers and your buyers, and then you connect them. Simple. Your marketing goes down to less than $500 a month. Because why spend more than that? When people are spending thousands of dollars a month on marketing, it's because they're just throwing volume at it, hoping something clicks at some point down the line. It's ridiculous. Now, this allows you to do it in your own backyard, right? Meet with your sellers in person, build trust fast, close deals in the first appointment, and get deals done that are $30, $50, $100, $200,000 margins, depending on where you live, with virtually no competition. Like I said, my student that got this deal locked up, he had competition, but this is why I tell you there's no competition. Because if I'm competing with a virtual wholesaler, I laugh at that. It's nothing. You can't compete with me. I'm there. I'm physically there. You have no way to compete with me. So you can stop guessing. You stop juggling the 5 different markets, all the list sources, all these systems, all this, different types of marketing, everything. You stop juggling all the nonsense and you pick one thing and you become the best at it. Your volume goes way down. Your time that you need to run your business goes way down, but your profits go tremendously higher. And here's the best part. I put together a free PDF for you guys. It's going to be either in the description on this video below or in the chat. It gives you the whole breakdown of the whole model, everything. It's got trainings in there. You can read it, apply it. You can take action right now to change your business. That guy shows you how to build the foundation, find real buyers, talk to motivated sellers, and structure your business so it's consistent, simple, and stress-free. That at the end of the day, what's the whole point of everything that we're doing? So because once you understand how the system is actually broken down, you'll never go back to the chaos of the virtual wholesale. And you can actually build a business that's profitable from day one. So I built this system because I got tired of watching good people burn out, me being one of them. I burned out quickly many times. Yeah, I was just persistent. I'm stubborn. That being said, it was always chasing all the wrong models. Volume, more calls, more marketing, more everything. Man, I was starting to hate real estate. And real estate is a great business. It's just we run it the wrong way. So you deserve a business that gives you life, not one that drains it. And if you're ready to stop hiding behind the virtual and spending the thousands of dollars that you're spending just barely getting by, I'll show you step by step inside my academy how to do all this. You'll learn how to find the buyers. I give you, hours, hundreds of hours of training, live coaching. You get to ask me anything whenever. I'm the only coach. There aren't, any of these side coaches that you get. You deal with me. And my model is to build out a business for you that's specific to your business and your market, not a generic strategy that works some places. It's very specific to how you operate. We go over marketing, sales, identity, mindset, closings, everything. There's nothing that's going to be missing. And if you're interested in that, just simply schedule a call with me, pwmcall.com, and we'll hop on a strategy call.